Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by the Life of Sassy. Today we're going to get into a little bit of life and what happens. Recently, our basement has flooded. It is still ongoing, but let's get into the story of what happened.
So just to give you an overview, this room has been cleaned. I know you're sitting there, you're laughing, but water did come into this room. Now, one of the fun parts is because this is a foundation issue, it is washing my front garden into my basement. So the floor in this room was pretty much black. We've gone ahead, we've washed everything down. Now what we do is as we clean up the other room, the bags of garbage come in here to be hauled out. Let me tell you, the haul out process is the worst process. You've got to haul all these bags up the stairs and outside. Luckily, we do have somewhere we can dispose of them, but yeah, the hauling them out is the hard part. So right now, I have probably hauled out, we have probably hauled out somewhere between probably 25 to 30 bags. There's probably about another 10 to 15 here. They need to be hauled out, but for the most part, this room is clean. Once everything's done, I will scrub the whole basement down once more, just for my own peace of mind. Now, the only thing is we did move the freezer, but we didn't move the shelving. So once all of this is done, I will need to empty the shelving and move it, but that is a task for another day. In all honesty, this room didn't flood the worst. The room that flooded the worst was this one, which I'm going to be honest, we don't use our basement. We didn't even have a basement in our old house, so we don't really feel like we'd lost the square footage not using our basement. Our basement has been 100% storage. The issue with that is we are storing everything in boxes, not bins. So now the water has come in and we have to go through everything. Most of it is just 100% garbage. It's got to go, but it's just the going through it, bagging it up and getting it out. The other thing is we're storing a bunch of furniture down here. This is a wall unit from our old house. This wall unit is absolutely massive and heavy, and it doesn't fit in this house. In our old house, our dining room was very wide, but it wasn't very long. This one is narrow and long, so this wall unit takes up like half of our dining room. We put it in the basement, and here it lives. Also, we have a computer desk. We had considered setting up a computer area in this house. We've never done it, so we will be hiring someone to come in, get rid of the computer desk, the 3 pieces of the wall unit. So that will clear up pretty much most of this side of the room. So far, we have cleaned up about half of this side. We still need to tackle this. Today, the plan is to move the table over and get rid of all of these boxes. Once all of that is done, I have a spare set of these shelves. We're going to set them up in the other room, and anything we're keeping will go on those shelves. But the reason this has become such a bigger task than we realized is they've come in, they've assessed the damage. We have now found out, sorry guys, back to the other room, they're going to have to rip out the drywall and the flooring, because they need to inspect under the flooring and behind the drywall. We'll find out this week just how much they're ripping out. We don't know yet, but yeah, that is the fun. We are going through all of this stuff, finding out what has water damage, throwing it out, and then we are going to have to organize what is staying. But because of the water and everything, anything that is staying, I am completely, even if it wasn't in water, my OCDs have kicked in and I am completely scrubbing it down with bleach spray. So that is where we stand. I won't be able to show you the progress as much as we're working because we're in a tight space. We're hauling around bags. We would just knock over the camera, but I will show you as we work through this. The goal for today is to have all of this gone so we can set up some shelves and hopefully organize what we are keeping, because like everything on this table is obviously clean. It didn't get hit by the water. It's still quite the process. So follow along as I share how our basement clean out goes. I'll share with you once they do the demolition. As well, we're going to have to get the basement put back together. Unfortunately, we have learned they won't replace the drywall and the flooring. We're going to have to do that. So yeah, not fun, but this is what's going on and this is what is occupying my life right now. Okay, I think I might cry. Turns out we had a lot more water damage than we realized. This is all garbage to go out. Plus, as you can see, I ran out of room. So There are a bunch of bags there. I think there's more if we go around the corner. Sorry, just trying not to trip over anything. Yeah, so we got more garbage, more garbage there. Literally anywhere I could stack a garbage bag, I have. There's got to be at least 40 to 50 bags of garbage here to go out. Turns out that this end of our room was completely flooded. The water is coming in the other end, but it was all draining down here. So everything in this end of the room was destroyed. Now, we do have this side of the room completely done. So once we get the garbage out, we need to deal with this. But for now, we're gonna haul the garbage out. I am seriously ready to cry. I hate paying people to do anything, but had I have known it was going to be this bad, I totally would have paid somebody to do this for us. But it's a little late now. We've got it done. I'm happy we have it done. But yeah, I totally should have hired somebody to take this on. This was a lot of work, and as you can see, we're not done. We still have half the room. Only good news is this half the room has the wall unit, the computer desk. There's another cupboard way back there. I don't know if that's been damaged, if we're keeping it, getting rid of it. For sure the wall unit and the desk are going, but yeah, wow, a lot more water damage than we thought. Okay, day 3 and my energy level is feeling it. I've got to be honest, through this whole process, I have been overwhelmed and just really want to shut down, but trying to push through. I don't know if any of the rest of you suffer from the same issues, but yeah, this has just been so overwhelming. I wanted to shut down, and yeah, realizing yesterday how bad some of the things were. I don't know if I mentioned it already, but we 100% should have hired somebody to come in and do this. The damage was way worse than we knew, but we're pushing through. A family member and one of their friends yesterday came and hauled all of the garbage out of this room, plus the garbage I showed you in the other room. Literally took them half an hour. There was over 50 bags. The day before, I had hauled 20 out and it took me twice as long. So thankful and grateful they came and helped us, because that really helped us, or else we literally would have spent pretty much all day just hauling the garbage out, not the groceries. I don't know why I wanted to say groceries, although I think I do need to go grocery shopping. Sorry, side note there. But yeah, they hauled everything out. We've started piling some more garbage. Those are just boxes we need to break down. They got wet, but they're not soaking wet, so you can't just crush them. We need to break them down. This room actually isn't as bad as it looks. Now, with that being said, they are coming this week to tell us how much of our basement they need to rip apart to fix the issue. Really hoping they don't have to touch this room. We did get flooded in this room, but they're telling us that it came in under this wall, because apparently this wall is not sealed to the floor. I'm going to be honest, most of this is going over my head. I'm not quite sure what they're talking about, but they're saying they need to seal this wall to the floor. Hopefully they can just do that in the other room and they don't need to rip this one apart, but we'll find out later this week. Now, in here, this half of the room is done. Anything on this side has not been affected by the flood, and it is stuff we are keeping or going to sort through later. Yes, I said sort through later. I would love to get this all done right now, but we're in a time crunch. We've got a lot going on, so things like all of this plastic, yes, I admit it, we need like a 12-step program. We have so many plastic containers. We're gonna clean these, sort these. Probably like 90% of them are gonna end up being donated, but for the time being, originally we started, as you can see, laying everything out, trying to determine what we're keeping. We're running out of time. I'm gonna bin all of this up, put it on the shelves, and then once they're done with the construction down here, we'll come down and we'll sort it all out. Not to mention, I'm not gonna lie, there are at least 2 or 3 more boxes of plastic behind me. Yes, we have a plastic problem. We are going to clear this up. There are going to be many joy, no joy moments, hopefully more no joy, and this will be donated and leave us. Anything else we have over here, we're keeping. We've got to get it up off the floor just in case we flood again. Fingers crossed we don't, because this has been a lot of work. But this side of the room is done. It has been cleaned. Nothing from the basement is going upstairs until I bleach it. OCD's totally kicking in here, people. Ugh. Now, this is the side of the room we're still working on. These are all of my organizers. I'm going to bleach those down so they can be used. Once they're bleached down, they will go on the shelves. Now over here is the area we have to clean out. We got some of it done yesterday, not all of it. This is what we're going to finish today so they can take away the computer desk. And if I can show you, all 3 parts of this wall unit are going, and it's undecided on that cabinet if it's staying or going. But we have to get all of this cleaned up because they're coming to get the furniture tomorrow, and then the day after they're coming to tell us how much of our basement is being ripped up to fix the damage. We're pretty sure they need to rip out that wall, well, the drywall, not the whole wall. They've told us they need to pull up floor tile. We're not sure how much. I have a feeling they're going to have to rip apart this wall, and we're not sure about that wall yet. Oh man, yes, a lot going on. But this is all we need to get done today. Most of this is a lot of randomness, let me be real. And let me be real about my basement. Some people probably wouldn't want to share this, but I try to be as open and honest as I can. Our basement is a lot of out of sight, out of mind. In our old house, we didn't have a basement, so we're not necessarily missing the square footage down here. We don't use our basement. So a lot of it, yeah, it's out of sight, out of mind. Like over here, I have a family member who used to decorate cakes. They haven't done that in 5+ years, but because it's all down here, we've just never dealt with getting rid of it. It just lives in the basement. And then we had a family member pass away. They sold their house really quickly, and we just boxed it all up and put it in our basement. Then we had a family friend move. They downsized from a house to a condo and gave us a bunch of stuff they couldn't take with them. We were supposed to sort through it, decide what we want to keep, dispose of what we didn't. It came, it lived in our basement. I mean, it's one of those things we kept talking about, we need to do this, we need to do this, but it was so overwhelming. We'd come down here, we'd spend an hour or two, feel like we were getting nowhere, and just give up. It flooded. We can't do that. We have to deal with it. So in some ways, as much as I wish we weren't dealing with the flood, it is what has got our butts in gear, and now we're dealing with it. And the amount of stuff that, sadly, a lot was destroyed in the flood. The flood was way worse than we thought. But you know, it's getting the basement clean, and now we just need to keep this momentum going to get the rest of the house clean because, our house is slightly a disaster just because life happens. We never really dealt with our house. We moved in, we made certain areas functional, but I feel like ever since we moved in, life just hasn't stopped. Things keep happening, and this is what happens. So this is where we're at. It's not pretty, but it is what it is. We're getting it done. By the end of today, all of this will be gone, so they can come get the furniture tomorrow, the day after. They'll tell us how much they're ripping out. No matter what, we're going to rip out all of these floor tiles. Quick little backstory here. These are faux marble. And yes, that's my garden. Because it's a foundation leak, my garden is literally washing into my basement. So not only are we dealing with water, but there's dirt. But back to the tiles. These are faux marble. The owner previous to us put these down, but they glued them directly to the cement, which makes down here so cold. In the winter, if you come down wearing slippers or shoes, it is still so cold it goes into your feet and cramps them. So that's part of the reason we don't use our basement is because in the winter it is so cold down here. Like just coming down to do laundry, you have to bundle up like you're going outside. So no matter what, we're going to rip out all of the flooring. We'll let them rip out whatever they're going to rip out. Hopefully, fingers crossed. The rest of it we can rip out ourselves, and then we'll just have to get someone to come in and lay new flooring. We're hoping to get something with a cork or something that will absorb some of the cold in the winter. As well, don't know how much drywall is going to need to be replaced, but we'll figure that out. But we're getting it done. It will be done. I'm rambling. I'm sorry. I'm overwhelmed. There's a lot going on. Today is our last day. At the end of today, all of this has to be done. So wish me luck. I'm going to get to it. And then hopefully at the end of today, I can show you that the only stuff left down here is these big pieces to be hauled away tomorrow. And then we're going to take a couple days off, and then we'll start coming down and sorting the bins of plastic and all the other stuff. But that is the plan right now. And I'm going to be honest, guys, this is only 2 of the 3 rooms in my basement. The 3rd room did not flood, but that'll be a project for another day too. That is actually my storage area. So once we get that cleaned out, pretty much anything we're keeping out of this room is going into the storage area as well. That is where these shelves will end up. Plus, I'm going to go buy another pair one night this week after work, just so we have room to lay stuff out and sort it. We can see what we have. We can get rid of stuff. But this is where we're at, guys. Basement flooding. Ugh. All right, gotta get to work now. Okay, guys, it's been a few days, but we're back in the basement. Things have been going on, but I just haven't been recording them. I really underestimated how hard it was going to be to keep moving forward with the basement plus working. So we've been getting done what we can when I'm off work, but it's the weekend and now it's just time to get everything back in order. This room has been pulled apart so that they could get the furniture up the stairs. So I need to get this back. This needs to be functional. I can't access my freezer. If you can see it over there, that's my olive oil. I need that. I'm out upstairs, but I can't get to it. So we need to tidy up this room. Everything in this room is staying. The bins just need to move back. The cooler lives there. That's garbage. I'm not sure what's in that bin. Apparently we don't want this light anymore. And there's also stuff that is going to family friends that wasn't affected by the flood that they want. So today, this room needs to become functional again. And now, let's go here. One, we got the dehumidifier. I'm not sure if it's all brands, but at least the one we bought. It was clearly labeled you have to let it climatize in the area it's going to run for 24 hours. So it's down here. It's set up. We can start running it. Well, we could have started running it yesterday, but I never made it down here to get that done. I had some other stuff I had to take care of. So today I will clean this room and then we'll start running the dehumidifier. As you can see, we went and picked this up one night after work. By the time we got home, got all of this downstairs, it was pretty much my bedtime, I'm not gonna lie. So we just opened it all up, left the garbage down here. So I've got to pick that up. This rug was sitting under one of the wall units. That's how we moved it around. So that just needs to go in the garbage. But as you can now see here, no desk, no wall unit. A family member did decide after inspecting this that they can still refinish it and they wanted to keep it. Those shelves were not affected. The water never got high enough that it went above that little hump in the shelves. So all of that is dry. It's fine. Not necessarily saying we're keeping it, but it got to the point of what do we have to get done? So anything that wasn't affected, like these shelves, that's a project for another day. And here is all of my garden. My garden is washing in. But the weird thing is, and I don't know how well you can see it on camera, we know the water is coming in this wall. We know that. But the weird thing is there is no damage to this wall. My drywall is not bubbled. There's nothing on my baseboards. They look fine. But we know that's where the water's coming in. So we're still waiting for them to come and assess the damage, so to speak, and determine how the water is getting in. Unfortunately, that appointment got canceled and hasn't been rescheduled, so we're still waiting for an appointment for that. That is also the appointment that will tell me how much of my basement they're going to rip up. I'm really hoping it's only that wall and the flooring, but we have heard from other people that they think some of the side walls also need to be ripped up, and I'm really hoping the pantry doesn't have to be ripped up, because honestly, I have no idea where I would put all of that if they want to rip down the drywall. Now, the other thing is, lastly, this is what we could save and salvage. Most of the damage actually ended up being in the closet and in that corner because that's where all of the water pooled. Because there's a slope to this floor, and when they refinished this, they didn't level the floor. We were not the ones who finished the basement, the previous owners did. They didn't level the floor. So when we got into those areas, everything was garbage. It was covered in dirt and water. So yeah, this is where we're standing. The plan for today, my pantry needs to become usable again. I want into my chest freezer and I need access to my shelves. I need to sweep and mop this as well. Apparently we want to move this cabinet and those shelves to the other side. Not sure where we're putting those yet. But yeah, today is just about making my house functional again, because the other thing is, I'll try and remember to show you guys when I go upstairs. Guys, my head is spinning. Between work and the basement, I feel like I have the memory span of a gnat. But when I go upstairs, I'll try and show you guys. We even had to move everything upstairs so they could haul the furniture out. So like my shelving that's normally in my hallway is in my kitchen. Everything that's normally in my kitchen is in my dining room. So yeah, my house is not functional right now and it's driving me a bit insane. So that is the plan for today. Make this house functional again. That is what we're going to work on. And I will hopefully, again, memory span of a gnat here, remember to show you guys once I get this all cleaned up and it's pretty, and then we can get going with the rest of the day and getting back into a normal routine. Oh, how I miss my normal routine. I haven't meal prepped or ingredient prepped in a couple weeks I missed a week before the flood, and then once the flood happened, yeah, I need my normal routine back, but that's where we're at right now, and I will show you once I get it all cleaned up. Back in the basement. Here is the before. We knew all along that they were going to be ripping out this wall. We knew since they said they were going to be ripping out the wall that they would be ripping out this wall. So as you can see, we have moved everything to this side of the room, so they had plenty of space to work. We have now found out, come with me, they also want to rip out this wall. Yeah, and best part about it, tomorrow afternoon. We were supposed to be tomorrow morning, we found out this morning. And then when they let us know they're ripping out this wall, we were like, that's going to be tricky. These two shelves are connected together, so I can't move one without taking everything off and disconnecting them. I need to completely empty this shelf because it's so high it's not going to fit through a doorway. Not sure about the freezer. Plus, we have all the other random stuff we were storing in here to keep it out of the room next door. So, wish me luck. I have tonight after work to get this done. A family member's coming down to help me in a minute. But yeah, change in plans. Not sure how this is going to go, but the basement saga continues. Okay, we're back in the basement. I'm feeling overwhelmed, but let's keep pushing through. I've started to clear this rack off. Some of it is in here, some is there, some has already moved into the other room. What we did yesterday was we cleared these two metal racks. We had to wash everything that was on them. Long story there. Not going to go into it right now because it doesn't really affect the basement flooding. We have more garbage because that's just the way our lives go. We have rearranged everything here because basically I need to get this shelving unit and one of these shelves into this room. Now, here is the tricky part. They're coming to demolish the basement. Well, the wall. But they don't have a date for the waterproofing to be done. Apparently the company that is coming to do it is very backlogged, so there is no timeline for the waterproofing to be done. So the trick is going to be, this is my pantry we cook out of on a daily basis. So we need to make it somehow that all of this food is still accessible. Like, there's my potatoes. I need access to those. There's the broth. I don't keep any of that upstairs. Yes, there's some things here we don't need, but since we have no idea when this is going to be done. They are just ripping out the wall so that the waterproofing company can come in and see how bad the damage is behind, but they haven't actually booked the work to be done. So we don't know how long we're going to be living in a destroyed basement. So now I have to figure out how to move all of this from this room into this room and keep it accessible. All of the stuff on the floor here needs to go on this set of shelves to leave me this extra set of shelves to try and use for food so we can regain access. So this is where we're at. Also, because I thought they were only ripping out this wall, we had this room done. We did this on the weekend. It was ready to go. We thought all we needed to do was to let the guys in to rip out the wall. So I did not book any time off this week. I am still running a full schedule at work. So yesterday I would work for a couple hours, take a break, run down here and clear the shelf. So we got all of that done yesterday. Now today I've started working. I'm taking a quick break and I'm going to start moving all of this. Sorry guys, I'm walking around a lot into the other room. I'm going to say it. I'm officially not having fun, but I have decided I'm going to be positive about this. I needed to clean off all of these shelves and reorganize it. I hadn't planned on doing it quite yet. I was aiming for more along October. It's currently September, but I'm going to look at the positive. When we get to bring these shelves back in, I will finally get to rearrange the pantry and make it look really pretty. But that is the goal for today. All of this in the other room so they can come and rip out this wall. So I've gone ahead and I've moved the shelf that was along the back wall, and this is what this whole room looked like before we cleaned it. There wasn't actually any water on the floor in here, but the floor looked like this because that's the dirt from my front garden. And actually it was mainly like that, only like under the freezer, under the bins, under the shelves. In the middle, it wasn't dirty. You could see it had been wet, but the weird thing was at one point I had come down here, the floor wasn't wet, but I left perfect footprints in like a gray residue. It was really weird, but that's what the floor in here looked like. This room didn't actually flood. There had been a table leaning up against this wall. The water hit this table and it diverted it into this room. So this room didn't actually flood, which is why we thought they weren't ripping out this wall, but apparently the issue is on the other side of this wall on the outside. There's a staircase they're saying that they can't remove. So they can't waterproof from the outside, so they're going to do it from the inside. I'm not sure that's the best option. I don't know a lot about waterproofing foundations, but that is what we're being told at this point. But there we go. One shelf moved. Got to put this and this back on the shelf. And for the time being, my shelf will live there, so I still have access to it and can access the food. Now we move on to these shelves. Unfortunately, the issue here, these ones have a locking system. So the far shelf has this little part on it, which means we slid this unit on top. So to take these two apart, I'm going to have to lift this, move it out, and then get that one out. But my other issue is I'm using the wall to brace what is there. So I'm going to have to move all of that because once we move the shelf, it's all going to fall. Okay, here we go. Sorry guys, feeling a little defeated at the moment, but like I said, the positive is once all of this is done, I get to reorganize this room. But yeah, it's a little overwhelming right now, especially since we don't have a timeline for them to waterproof. That is the part that scares me, is I don't know how long we're going to be living with a dismantled basement, which also puts some of my other projects around the house on hold. So yeah, feeling a little overwhelmed, but it's all good. I do have a tendency when I get this overwhelmed to shut down, but I'm not shutting down. It's part of being me. I'll be honest, when I get this overwhelmed, I shut down. I can admit it, but we're pushing through, so let's get going on the rest of this. Here we have it. The basement has been torn apart just so that he could come and get the work done. We just moved these shelves back to back, so now I have to figure out one of these sets needs to move. I just don't know where yet. I really don't, but that's okay. I will figure that out. My plan for this weekend, and it'll be included in the next video, is how we are going to rearrange the basement to make it work. As you can see here, they have ripped out all of the drywall along the bottom half of the wall. The good news is there are no signs of water damage in here. There was some mold on the baseboard, but he believes the water came from the room next door. So he doesn't think they're going to have to do much in here, but we do have to have the wall exposed for them to look. And yeah, more pantry stuff. There's stuff everywhere, not gonna lie, and I totally thought we moved those bins into the other room. Now when we go into the other room, one of the pantry shelves is there. This is some mishmash. That's a bunch of pantry stuff. Here we have some garbage, and there's more over here that we need to take out because as we've been going through this, we are also purging. And here we have our front wall. Good news, bad news scenario, I guess. He thinks it's been leaking a lot longer than we thought, and the water has just been absorbing into the insulation. Sorry, it took me a second to figure it out. It's been absorbing into the insulation. When he pulled this out, there was a piece of wood along the bottom here that had all of the studs in it. That was completely saturated in water, falling apart. When he actually pulled it out, it was moldy. But according to him, all of our issues are in this area. And if you look closely, you can see that there are holes in between the bricks. Now, what has happened here is this is my basement, but originally this was supposed to be a drive-in garage. At the last minute, they decided not to put in the garage. So what they did was they just bricked up the entryway. But the other thing is, as you can see, we can see the facade brick because they never came back in and put cinder block behind it like they should have, as they did in the other room. Plus, we're now questioning if maybe the previous owners, who are the ones who put up the drywall in this room, because this room was unfinished, if maybe they were already noticing issues because none of that is from original install. That is something the previous owners put in. So yes, this is where we're at. My basement is all pulled apart. The waterproofing company comes on the weekend to provide a quote and figure out exactly what they're going to have to do. But I'm going to end off this video here. There will be a video coming on how we make our pantry and everything accessible during this time because, yeah, we don't have enough storage. Let me try that one again. We don't have enough storage space upstairs to keep what we use on a daily basis upstairs, so a lot of it is down here as well. My freezer. I can't even get into it right now. So yeah, we're gonna have to figure out what our plan is. I don't know what the plan is. I have one in my head, but I'm not sure if it'll work. But this is where I'm going to leave off for the basement flooding. I will show you the waterproofing once it's done, but we have been warned that that may not be done in the foreseeable future. It might be a few weeks out. So I don't want to hold back this video any longer because I feel like I keep holding it back for that final moment. But it's not coming, but I will also share a video on how we are going to organize our pantry during this time because we can't put anything against the front walls and we have to keep those accessible with at least 3 to 4 feet of space for them to go in and work on them. But yes, here's my basement all pulled apart because of the basement flood.
Thank you for stopping by and checking out my video. This is real life. This is what happens. Our basement flooded. We just have to roll with it. The basement drama is still ongoing. We're not sure when the waterproofing will be done, but I will update you all as I get more information. If you enjoyed this video and taking a peek into my crazy, chaotic life, please give me a thumbs up. And if you enjoy all things cooking with a little life thrown in, please consider joining my YouTube family and clicking that subscribe button. Thank you again for stopping by. Have a wonderful day, everyone.